Viewer, welcome to SGL Spiritual Guiding Light. Let's go ahead and just tap on an overall message is this will rattle your core, this message that I'm getting ready to deliver to you. I'm going to deliver the message before I get additional message attached to your reading. This is a collective reading, earth, air, fire, and water signs. For some of you, this is going to trigger you. Others of you, this is going to be your confirmation. The remaining of the collective, it's to each your own. What do you want to do with it? So, for those of you who are new to SGL Spiritual Guiding Light, welcome. As you can see, this is a new channel, so make sure that you subscribe so that you can be a part of the success and growth of this channel. Thank you. For those of you who have already subscribed, welcome back. May you find the clarity, confirmation, and understanding that you seek or need. This is a sensitive reading. Very sensitive. I mean sensitive. And I'm already acknowledging your existence, your presence, your well-being, your wellness, your matter. So if you are not in a space where you are grounded and anchored in strength, I am going to advise you to exit. And when you know that you're ready to hear this message, you are more than welcome to come back. This is not a private reading. This is a collective and it's open. I'm a true believer of that once the mind is expanded, it never goes back to the capacity that the natural state that it was in. So what I'm saying is, I'm being mindful. Overall messages, this will rattle your core. Okay? It's a tower moment. The weekly message for August the 21st to the 27th, for those of you who want more in-depth where this message is coming from, your weekly is the tower. Okay. I told myself I was not going to post the weeklies anymore because it's too heavy of a requirement for me, especially with my schedule at this time. So that's at the back end. Okay. So you have this tower here, and this tower is definitely going to rattle up your core. Okay. Meaning a spell of misunderstanding is being broken, but you have to let go. Things are going to make sense. Knowing the truth, which I just posted for the weekly post in the community, was knowing the truth, you find peace. For others of you, knowing the truth is going to rattle your core. Okay? Some of you are not going to understand. Others of you, you are going to react. And as a request, do not react so that you can continue to grow. Because you release does not mean that you have to respond to the reaction of your individualism as you as a one body, as you as a person, especially when you let it all out. You want to make sure that your words are mindful. Some of you, your relationships are going to be deepened as a result. A majority, this tower is an emotional transformation, all because of a disruption. You fill in the blank of that experience if it has not yet come to pass. I am not prophesying at all. I am just reading the energy that has came out. And right now I'm just speaking of the energy for the weekly, which is this tower here. Okay. That's going to rattle your core. And when we talk core, I'm not a scientist, but I do consider myself a nerd at heart, open to continuously to learn. When we speak of core, meaning something is getting ready to penetrate. And what I learned about this evening about how the ovary is penetrated by the semen, it's not by force, it's by vibration. The semen is is it penetrates off of vibration. So it's very important that you vibe at a balance. I'm not going to tell you, I'm not going to require you to vibe high. Okay, because it's not easy to be present. I'm asking you to try the effort of not vibing low. But how do you bring that balance into place so that the result is a blessing? Now, understand that blessings consist of sacrifice. Either you're losing a portion of you and replacing it with a new portion of you, out with the old and with the new, right? Or you are losing self and trying to find a sense of acceptance, and you fill in the blank of what that acceptance is. But overall, your shadow self is definitely a highlight of your treasures, and that's why it's very essential to let it out. Not let it out in, you know how we get in spaces. I'm a guilty of as association, where when our higher self is saying, don't explode, and you say things that you can't take back, and you know your higher self is saying stop, just stop, don't say those things, because they are going to stick to you. These are going to be tactics that are going to be used to you because you said so, because you said this and how you said it. So the assignment that I have for you is patience and tone. If you want to yell, find that space to do so, but not at anyone. Be mindful of your choices of words, because those are tactics. Okay. Others of you, this tower moment is definitely going to break you wide open. Meaning, it's like you may feel like all odds are against you. Others of you, it's your breaking point. You had it and you're letting it all out. But allow this to be I don't want to say a celebration, but more so of you have broken the generational curse. For others of you, if that's your language. For some of you, the most layman way that I can explain this is you are ending the cycles of dysfunctional behavior, action, things that just don't feel good, that tough love that we do not practice here in the SGL community. So technically, this tower is for the greater good. It's a benefit. But in order to obtain this benefit after, everything takes its place of acceptance, right? Acknowledging truth, your truth. Because I'm a true believer that we are entitled by law to speak our side of the story, but it is not required for you to go out of your way to define what that truth is, because actions speak louder than words. So technically, the hell end of this tower, you know that saying that God would make your enemies your footstool? It's kind of in that arena, but we're not making anyone no footstools. We're not dark like that. No, the water well is dry and you have no more water. They no longer have access to, for you to fill their cup. Hopefully that makes sense. Okay. And pertaining to the disruption with this tower within the weekly, and then I'm going to get to the reading and pertaining to why your core is rattled. And it could be difficult to let go. I mean, we can forgive, but we can never forget. Believe me, you could be having the best day and the smallest thing, and all of a sudden you're reminded of some trauma. And it's like, why is this playing in my mind? Why am I, right now and moving forward, there's no need for you to file justice to know the why, because you went through the experience, listener and viewer. For those of you who are multitasking and you're just, I'm just sitting somewhere and you're doing what you have to do. We are not going backwards. We're moving forward, steady, swiftly, and smart. Okay. So the back end of this that could be the rattle, seeing someone go through something when you told them so, like, please stop. Don't treat me this way. Stop lying on me. Don't you get what I'm saying? You fill in the blank of what those experiences. It doesn't have to be at that extent, but something that wasn't just. And what we all say, karma is a right. You reap what you sow. But unfortunate, those who have wronged you or whatever you've experienced that caused a delayed, viewer and listener, your water well is dry and pertaining to them having access. You're not empty, you're full, but you have to let go. You have to be acceptance of the truth. Let's move forward. All right, overall focus, please. Overall focus. Believe me, that message went over my head. Okay. It went over my head, but I am being obedient because I am grateful for my gift, and I am unapologetically looking for justification for acceptance. I come from a militant background religion, and I'm not religious at all. So that would tell you that my own family, I would be condemned in their eyes. And that doesn't bother me because I'm already condemned based off of my sexual orientation. So this atmosphere is my sacred space. It's my work of duty. It's my way of giving back because I don't believe that no one should be left behind. And with the gift of intuition, and as I learn and as I grow, I don't want anyone to have to experience rough edges and having to learn how to smooth them out. When someone can just say, hey, step 1, step 2, and step 3, and this is what you do, and this is how you go about it. For others of you, life is good, but you have moments, right, where your core is rattled, and it's that alone space. And there's those whys, and it's being guided to tell you no longer seek the why. All right. Your deeds are heavenly spoken of good. Okay. All right. Just know that this fall of this year is definitely going to be your season. Walk into your season now. Even though our seasons are quarterly, I don't want this to be time stamped. What I'm saying is, you are now seasoned. You have experience. So there's no need for you to keep acting upon as if you're unexperienced. My seasoned collective. I like seasoned, but majority, I like spicy food. Overall focus within this message, please, for my collective earth, air, and fire and water signs. Expect expect miracles, prayer and contemplation. So someone's prayer is definitely being answered here. For the most part, you wanted to know the truth. Open communication, or whether whatever it is that you're letting out, like I said, be mindful, because whatever you say cannot be taken back. Don't worry about the gaslighting. If you're being gaslight, you just there's no need for a conversation. I'm not saying what I'm trying to say is just don't say anything at all. I wouldn't entertain. I would release that spirit that's within that person. For those of you who are spiritual, who understand what I'm saying. Others of you, layman terms, is the dysfunctional behaviors of those that you consider your priority are those mended connections that you're trying to mend that are chaotic and just out of order. You have to release it. It's basically saying you don't return to the connection. Allow them to catch up. And when they catch up to your connection of who you are now, I'm being guided to tell you there is no room or no space for you to get distracted. They have to work hard, just how you try to work hard to create peace and understanding. Others of you, your shadow self, you were very open and truthful about what was behind closed doors, and it was used against you. For some of you, it was to conquer and divide your household. Okay. Again, there is no need for you to know the whys when you experience the experience. No one can tell you what you experience. No one can take your story. No one can take your truth. Okay. So we have open communication. It says, get a weight off your chest. My nose is running. It says, with focus intentions, think about what you desire. And I'm taking myself out of the reading, and I'm just giving you my opinion from experience when it comes to desire. Summons to know what desires are available to you. Because sometimes I remember when I asked for patience, I can honestly say I wish I never would have asked for patience at that time, because everything slowed down and I didn't understand. It was a learning experience, yes, but I asked for patience at the wrong time. Okay, so you want to be mindful what it is that you ask for, or whatever it is that you're focused on at this time, because externally, you want to make sure that your desires are yours and not those that are influence you, or this influence of expectation. Okay. And then we have prayer and contemplation with expect miracles. This is letting me know that if you're open, going through the process of this tower and not being distracted of those who have been affected by this tower, it's like a two-edged sword here. Okay. It's like your prayers are answered, but when your prayers are answered are what you summons to the air, right? Where you just say, you know how someone just says, I just wish my situation would change. That's prayer. It's just in another way. So when you summons the air, that's why the power of the tongue speaks life and in death. So whoever summons and whoever prayers, it has been accepted and approved. But what's going to rattle the situation is having to see the outcome of the results of those who affected you and them getting their karma. And I'm talking about, I don't want to label it, okay, because it's not my place to judge. So whatever came to your mind, that's what it is, okay? All right. But there's truth here. the absolute reality of truth. Let's go ahead and pull an angel guide message, my viewer and listeners. I really appreciate you, and hopefully I'm delivering the message as clear as possible. This is my first time actually really taking my time. Accept the gateway of your noble self, viewer. No one can take that from you. It's okay to have pride in your noble self. It's okay to have ego in your noble self. No one can tell your story of what you've been through. Only you. Especially if there are moments where it just felt like a life and death situation, where it was just like, where there was no hope and no faith. Your cup was empty. You couldn't even water your own faith. You couldn't water hope. You couldn't water strength. Those are seeds. Give me an angel guide message for my collective earth, air, and fire and water signs, please. Transformation and self-acceptance. You unapologetically, and for some of you, because I have a majority of empaths in the community here in the SGL community, and it's an expectation, because it's not people pleasing, it's just your nature to put people before you. It's this care, and it's not even in your control, but you have to train yourself to control that. An example that I can give you, it's like, say you're in town and there is a person, I'm not going to label them, but there's a person at the corner with the sign saying, please help me, get donations wanted, right? And immediately your empath instincts, you have this instinct of feeling obligated. This self-acceptance is saying your angel guides are saying unapologetically, your experience of who you are now, no one can take that from you. Not a rumor, not defamation of character, because your actions not only spoke louder than words, but they are being praised beyond measure. And this transformation comes hand in hand. And this is acceptance, right? Letting go of the old and training yourself that when memories of the past, of things that you have forgiven, when they arise again, that you say, yeah, I've grown from that. Thank you, mind. I appreciate you reminding me, so now I can be grateful. And that's going to help you with your interpersonal skills as well. Okay. And for others of you, that's going to be your way to be able to release. So if you're having difficulties with triggers of past traumatic situations in the past that you've healed from through forgiving, but you haven't healed from it internally. You've healed from it from the mindset, but you haven't healed from it internally. So with that, when those memories come back, it's like, thank you. So now you're telling your shadow self, like, I'm not playing with you. Okay? Commanding. Give me one more angel guide message so that I can read to the collective. And that's your noble self. Angel guide message, please, for my collective earth, air, and fire and water signs. You see, my family, now I'm giving you my testimony. For those of you who would like to hear, to have a piece of me, being raised in a religious background, I was supposed to be a first lady. I was supposed to have been a pastor's wife, and that was not my thing. I tried to be a missionary. I did all the steps, the doors were open, and I just looked around and I said, this is This is not my passion. This is an expectation. This is an expectation where everyone can ride on that. And I was like, no, I would not be happy. Okay. So for others of you, this core, this rattling core, this tower moment is being uncomfortable. Train yourself to get through this uncomfortable so that when you are comfortable, then you'll know the why. I was wondering why I was guided to say, don't worry about the whys. Angel guide message. Okay. Raise your vibration. Let's go ahead and see what the details of this is. Raise your vibration. All right, my collective. It says the sense of achievement around you at this time. You may be receiving documentation, certification, or a reward of some description to have acknowledged your growth or experience. This is a time to cherish, a time to enjoy the rewards of your commitment to living with integrity and doing good. You have overcome many challenges and risen above adversity, judgment, and possibly even abuse. You are ascending spiritually and personally at this time, and the universe is supporting you. This is the pathway of light, the pathway of your soul evolution, ascension. All right. Until we meet again, don't forget love is kind, love is gentle. And this is the healthy love that we practice within this community. We're learning, we're growing. Some days are good days, some days are low, but we always will come together. And that's why I want you guys to use the comment sections to share what resonate with you and share why something didn't resonate with you. Share your story, your testimony. It's that space. The comment section is really for you. Either than that, I will continue the next 72. The last next 72 was Virgo. Up next is Libra. And just a FYI, you can go over to the podcast. I do believe there are some links in the description box, listener and viewer, that will take you over to the podcast. It's just like YouTube, only differences as readings are uploaded, it's in the order received. They're not categorized in individual zodiac signs. So in its audio format, there are some visuals, and I'm happy I'm bringing this up because now I can go on the podcast and put those Q&As on there. So for the podcast, I want you to put in your votes every reading to the end of this year, because I am going, when I'm divinely guided to do a visual on the podcast, I will, to the end of this year. Okay. After that, once we get the tally up, if it says no, yes, we still want visuals, then we'll have set days for the visuals. Till then, it will be after 2023, it will be audio only. That's what I'm trying to do. I've made up my mind that that's what I want to do. But because this is a community and we're one, I want to make sure that your vote counts too. So if the vote is no, we still want visuals, we'll make a set date for the visuals for 2024. All right, till we meet again, don't forget love is kind, love is gentle. And this is a type of healthy love that we practice in the SGL community.